So shifting gears a little bit, we've got this concept of registration of assets, and there's a model referred to as direct registration and indirect registration. So Tom, can you kind of describe for me what's the difference between direct registration and indirect registration?
So direct registration means that when a transfer agent who maintains the records on behalf of an issuer knows the identity of the owner directly. So you can go to, they can go and say, okay, well, I know that John Doe or Jane Doe owns this many shares at the record level of the transfer agent, and then that is transferred back so that the issuer would have the ability to see that. The indirect model, which is the one that we operate today, shares get registered in the name of an entity that DTCC controls called CD & Co. And then from there, the shares are distributed, amongst our participants who are, as Dan said, are KYC'd. And there's a waterfall of ownership that goes on at a books and records basis, so that each custodian or broker-dealer will maintain the individual ownership record of those shares, but that's not known by the transfer agent because it's between, DTCC and the broker-dealer or custodian sit between.
Yeah, that makes sense. Did you want to add something?
Well, so it's important to compare these two models, and it's not right or wrong. Both are necessary.
Both exist today in the market, right?
Both exist in the market, and it's not like either is going to go away in the near future. So why would you want one or the other? There are some nice aspects of direct registration, but typically that's for limited scale types of offerings. If you want to reach many, so the first point is there are many transfer agents. The reason why DTCC came into existence was there were many transfer agents. And when an institution representing their clients wanted to allow someone to trade asset 1 and asset 2, they may be having to do system integration with many different transfer agents in order to track all of their clients' value. So instead, they formed an entity, they being the market participants, formed a mechanism where there could be a single touch point designed to scale to the entire market, and that became a mechanism to represent all those transfer agents as one entity. That has scale benefits, but it also helps drive standards. So having that single entity means that the approach for any market participant, you're dealing with a single standard mechanism by which you engage in your transactions. If, for example, there will be many direct registration offerings out there, but each with their own standard, which means that as parties interact with the various tokens, there may be different standards resulting in less interoperability. But also, if a direct registration model ever moved to market scale, well, it would be systemically important and would fall under the same regulatory guidelines as an entity like DTCC does. So that's not an easy standard for many people to meet, to be able to actually operate at that level. And it comes with heavy governance, as it should. So in the end, the benefit of indirect registration is market scale, standardization, and greater unified liquidity.